So today is Moon Day and Monday. It's Monday, lunes. And the RE word, there are a few of them actually that I would like to share for today because I think that you can kind of like choose your own adventure here. But the RE word for today, one of them is relaxation. Another one is rest. Another one, which is really, really applicable with both moon symbolism and also Piscean energy, is reflect. Especially reflecting now that we're nearing the end of this Mercury retrograde. You've been able, if you've been here in the past few days with me, hi. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to be here. I'm feeling so much more comfortable than I expected. And I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate the 35 of you that are here so far. And so reflection, like you've been here, you've been hearing me talk about RE words and how that's essentially the answer when Mercury especially is retrograde. So since we're in the last Monday of the retrograde period, because we go direct, Mercury goes direct at 22 degrees Pisces on Friday, March 20th, which is my birthday. And it goes retrograde at, I haven't looked. I used to drive myself I started to drive myself crazy like 10 plus 15 years ago when I was literally watching every transit every day. So to be honest, I don't know exactly where the new moon in Pisces is, but I know it's got to be at either 28 or 29 degrees. And that's pretty accurate still. Which means it's at the very end of Pisces. It's coming in a few days. A few days after that, we have the vernal equinox. And we're in this ending of the winter season because Pisces is that mutable sign within the winter category. Capricorn starts off the winter. Aquarius holds the winter energy down, this being a fixed sign, right? Capricorn's the cardinal sign. It starts off the winter season. And then we go to Aquarius, which is a fixed sign that holds the energy of winter. And then we move into Pisces, which is the mutable sign of the winter season, that all of them carry a torch, if you will, like the sun, they like all kind of carry it like a torch, if you will, in this example. And so each one passes it off at the right period of each season. It's actually probably the easiest way if you're beginning to learn about the difference between the three modes. So cardinal, mutable, fixed. And I didn't say them in the proper order. If you're beginning to learn about those, honestly, like I think the easiest way to start to understand the basics of that energy is just apply it to the seasons. It has to be the northern hemisphere. I'm sorry for people in the southern hemisphere. I don't know. Maybe just all of the written documentation that happened up in the northern hemisphere, especially like between China and, Japan, China. Oh God, am I going off on a really weird tangent here? I am. Let's not do that. The Pisces energy is alive in me right now. What I want to talk about is that because we're in the ending year of the winter energy, with Pisces season coming to an end, and we've got the vernal equinox in a few days, which is Aries season, starting off to cardinal sign again, and it starts off the energy of spring. Okay, Taurus is the fixed sign that holds the energy of spring. Then we've got Gemini, which is the mutable sign that then like passes off the torch to Cancer, who begins cardinal sign, the summertime, Fixed sign, Leo, holds summertime. Virgo, mutable, goes back and forth, passes the torch on to Libra, cardinal, fall begins. Scorpio, fixed, holding the autumn down. Sagittarius, the end of autumn. Mutable sign, carries the torch to Capricorn, and we've now made it through all the way through, okay? I think that's the easiest way you can understand the modes. Now back to my whole point of recording here. The word that I really want to emphasize today is reflection, because we're coming to the end of the Mercury retrograde period in Pisces. Pisces is a very reflective sign as it is, and the moon, today's Monday while I'm recording this, it's the last moon day of this Piscean retrograde period. It's the first retrograde of 2026, and it starts off a water retrograde cycle. All year we're going through the water signs bit. So it's going to be heart opening. It's going to be psychic ability opening. It's going to be more sensitive, like coming into, it's going to challenge you to come into more oneness with how you feel and the way that you emote or express emotion. It's going to be good. We need some heart opening, like across the deck for everyone. I've been feeling a lot of heart opening through this Piscean retrograde, and I hope that that's something that you've been experiencing. So reflect on not only the past few weeks, but also this past entire year, since we're ending out. Like, my birthday is the astrological New Year's Eve. So Friday, March 20th, 2026. This is, oh, I need to look at it again. The sun. You know, it's not always the exact day every year that the sun enters into a sign. So it could be happening, it could be happening Thursday. I think it's happening on Friday though. I glanced at the chart this morning and I saw that currently the moon, at least this morning, the moon was at 28 degrees Aquarius while I'm recording this on Monday afternoon, March 16th. And it takes roughly 2.5 days for the moon to move from the degree of one sign to that exact 30 degrees later, which is where this new moon is happening in a few days. So I'm kind of like just working through it in my head. I hope I probably lost people. I probably lost people there. Reflect on all of the things that you've been picking up through your heart chakra, through your feelings, through your psychic abilities. If your intuition has been speaking louder, yeah, makes sense. If your dream space has been more lively, yes. Yeah. If you've been feeling a little bit more sensitive or even moody, or like you want to kind of hibernate or introvert a little bit more, yeah. For some people though, they're already going to be picking up on the Aries energy too with the fire horse. It's like boom, boom, let's go. So there's this mixture happening that is definitely very prominent within the entire collective. So if you're here, trust that you are here for a reason and that there's a message in here for you. And if this has been making sense to you, please share with me in the comments below. I really hope that this information is interesting, that it's expansive, that it just helps you to kind of like ponder a little bit more and hopefully have some ahas or these moments that feel like super validating, because that's been my experience with studying astrology. And it can be confronting, and it's shadow work, especially when you're really like, if you get a reading based off your birth chart, you're going to be receiving amazing things, uploads, cool, expansive ideas, validation, like really, really good stuff. And there's also going to be an aspect of shadow work happening and energetic, like resonance and dissonance to certain things that are said in that reading. And this is the same thing if you begin studying your chart and studying chart reading which is also another reason why I'm here on YouTube. This is part of my passion, is to help people. I think it's valid enough if you're just curious and you feel open-minded enough and take it with a grain of salt to have your chart read by somebody that you trust. I think it's really valid. It's just brought so much validation to my life as I've moved throughout my journey, honestly. That's why I'm doing this, honey. I'm a 3-5 generator in human design. I'm the great life experimenter. I'm supposed to not take anyone's word for anything and try it myself. Thus, I don't know how many jobs I've had. I know I've had over 60 housemates. I've lived with a number of people. I've seen a lot of different lifestyles. I've lived a lot of different lifestyles. I've worked in many different fields, mostly health and wellness, retail, plants and nutrition, but like literal plants and growing. I'm moving out right now and my plants are like supporting me. I'm selling so many of my plants. I'm so grateful for the plant like life force. Excuse me. Getting off on a tangent again. But this is Piscean energy as well. So, reflect. See how things have been coming up, and if there are questions that you have, that also makes a lot of sense, because it's genuinely in the last bit of the retrograde period is where all of the confusion starts to become a little bit, like you can see how it was confusing, or it becomes more clear. And then in the shadow period after the retrograde, it's not just the retrograde that affects us. It's the shadow period before and after too, and other things too. It's like, this is so nuanced and deep. That's another reason why I want to be here, is to like kind of break it down into layman's terms, or just like how I processed it starting. Because I think I have a different take. I haven't seen people talk the way that my mind thinks about astrology. And it doesn't mean, I know there are people out there. And I want to find you too. Like I want to find you if you are an astrologer and you are vibing with this. Because like we don't all vibe with each other. And that's okay too. Like I respect all astrologers. Like it's so there's like literal like all you need to memorize, you need to learn symbols and their symbolism. Just like when you're learning to read or write, you need to start to understand each letter, what it represents, what it sounds like, what it looks like, how you write it, how you say it, what it's, you know. There's a lot when you're learning how to read a book. It takes years, right? Do you remember going through whenever you started learning how to read, like kindergarten or first grade or whatever you call it, primary school, elementary school, whatever. And then you get into more and more advanced, like it's the same thing, just different. It's the same thing with music too. If you're a musician and you know how to read music, you know that you didn't just learn it overnight. You're literally processing, looking at this weird symbol, let's say an eighth note or a treble clef, or let's say an alto clef, or a neutral, or a sharp, or a crescendo or decrescendo. Every single word I just said has a symbol that I'm seeing. You're learning a different language, and it's the same way with learning your own astrology. And even if you don't even want to go that direction, just getting your chart read is shadow work, and it helps you reflect on yourself. And just because you hear something, like take it all with a grain of salt, because we're all biased. And not one astrologer is necessarily like right or wrong. We're all interpreting symbols. We're reading. It's like listening to an audiobook and you'd rather hear this person's voice over this person's voice if you can choose it. It's just the info is legit and needs to be accurate, sure. Then we're all just different personalities. So if you're here still, hi, we must vibe. We must get along. You might have a strong fire or water in your chart. But whatever, right? Hi, we're welcome here. My name is Vanessa. I've been studying astrology since I was 7 years old. I've been reading charts for over 15 years for people. I have quite an extensive testimonial file, and I think I'm gonna put some testimonials up for people. But this is definitely what I'm supposed to be doing, is helping people feel really empowered in who they are and to understand themselves in a more deep, profound way that feels exciting and challenging. There's gonna be shadow work involved, honey. You're gonna learn a whole new level of courage and confidence in yourself. That's if you're gonna hang out on this channel and we're gonna work together. Hands down. You're gonna feel more competent, more confident, more energized, more excited. And yeah, you might feel challenged too. But you're here in the right place. And this is a whole thing about what the RE word for the day is, and it's not supposed to be 17 minutes long, but so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Reflect on what these past weeks and this past year has brought up for you. And this is you still have weeks, even though the retrograde's ending Friday, you still are gonna have the whole shadow period to really come into clarity and have a lot of those aha breakthroughs come through. If you can reflect and identify on all the things that you've been going through, that you've been releasing, that you've been recommitting to, that you've been rethinking, reorganizing, whatever it is. And if you still haven't given yourself some rest, then this is a reminder to do that. Okay, restore yourself. Because we're moving into Aries season real fast in a fire horse year, so things are going to be moving forward very quickly. Okay, so rest up if you can and reflect. And I hope this helped. And I'll see you guys in another video or in a reading. Hi.